Real brief, these videos will come from Rowan Mithril, and I'm using them with his permission. Let's get started with Tier 9.
We'll return to this episode of Really Cooking with Fireman right after these messages. Hey, Plugman here, telling you all to rush on down to your local gaming shop and check out all the latest games from Capcom. That's right, Capcom! Makers of the excellent Mega Man series. Gotta have more? Mega Man 10 is coming out this March. Go on and buy it. You know you wanna. And the fun doesn't end there. There's also Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Wait, who versus Capcom? That's right, the other guys suck! Who needs Tekka Man and Joe the Condor when you could have Frank West and Zero? Yay! Capcom!
Shameless plug!
At number 20 is DWN-064, Aquaman from Mega Man 8. When Wily was modifying Clown Man, he actually ordered more parts than was really necessary. He decided to try converting the extra parts into an ice-based robot master called Frostman, but his first attempt failed. Deciding to turn lemons into lemonade, he converted the defunct ice machine into a water tank, thus creating Aquaman. Sometime thereafter, Wily got his hands on evil energy and decided to have Aquaman take over Madagascar powered by this new energy source. The water physics in this stage are even more horrendous than normal. Even though Mega Man can swim, it's kinda clunky and you can't really stay on the same level. You gotta keep hitting the button. And to make things even more fun, they're throwing in instant death spikes. Joyful! There's also a mini-boss in this stage, and boy is it spastic. Unless you're using the Flash Bomb, expect to be falling for a really long time. Still, besides Aquaman, the stage itself isn't really that annoying. Well, actually it is, but anyway, Aquaman is where the real difficulty lies. His water balloon is pretty much a joke, but his water tower and his water cannon, yeah, those things are borderline cheapness. Not to mention, Aquaman jumps around the room spastic like you never know where he's going to be. As a result, Aquaman gets the number 20 spot on this list. At number 19 is DWN-078, Strike Man from Mega Man 10. Strike Man was created as a batting practice robot who unfortunately got a touch of Roboenza and apparently in one incident actually hit a batter that he disliked, sending him to the hospital. Yeesh. Well, as you could imagine from Strike Man's name and appearance, his stage is very sports-themed with a lot of sports-based enemies. One of the hardest out of all of these is a mini-boss reminiscent of a golem, and trust me when I say the second form of this gets a lot harder. Though perhaps the craziest of these enemies are these little cannons that actually pop out of locker rooms. How's that for weird? But while the stage is unpredictable, Strike Man is not. Oh yeah, he's durable, not as durable as rubber. But, well, his rebound striker and his rolling ball attack can be very easy to dodge and anticipate. So, it's just a long fight, not a hard one. As such, Strike Man gets the number 19 spot on this list.
You're out of there!
And so is the Mega Man 10 roster. Well, let's move on. At number 18 is DLN-00A, Time Man from Mega Man Powered Up. Time Man is an early experiment of Dr. Light's into time travel technology, but, well, he's a little incomplete and can really only slow down time. Of course, Dr. Wily decided he could get plenty of use out of him, and kidnapped him along with the rest of Dr. Light's robots for his own evil purposes. While the enemies are nothing you haven't seen before, there is a lot to worry about in this stage, including electrical pendulums. There's also a handful of count bombs, and conveyor belts. And yes, this is one of the more difficult parts of the stage. But after all that, Time Man's as regular as clockwork. The only time he reacts is when you're on the other side of the room, and that's just to turn around. All of his other actions are pre-programmed. It's crazy! Still, the stage and fight are not something you can let your guard down around, putting Time Man at number 18 on this list. This, thankfully, is the last time I'm going to say this, but I couldn't find an in-game intro for this character. So, number 17 is MKN-001, Enker from Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge, and Mega Man 10. Anchor is one of the very first Mega Man killers that Wily tried to create, and can arguably consider one of his most effective, judging from his Mirror Buster ability. There's a lot of treacherous things in Anchor's stage, and, well, that includes these little disappearing block puzzles over death spikes, plus count bombs. And oh yes, once again, it's the Mega Man 10 special stage. So, yeah. Something else to watch out for are these special treadmills with these enemies that can actually reverse the position of the treadmills, which can be very dangerous over death spikes. Those treadmills can get really problematic when, well, tackle fire comes into play. Yeah, they'll come out in sneaky little generators, and it's difficult to avoid damage. Anchor himself is a bit of a middle-of-the-road boss. Unless you shoot him when he's in midair, well, you'll charge up his Mirror Buster, which will actually improve his strength. You gotta keep to the walls if you really hope to avoid any of his attacks, or at least have a chance of avoiding them. It's a tricky stage and an even boss, putting Anchor at number 17 on this list. At number 16 is DWN-024, Drill Man from Mega Man 4. Built by Dr. Cossack Beeson Construction Board, Drill Man was converted for combat when Dr. Cossack was blackmailed by Dr. Wily to do his own work for him. A lot of the enemies in this stage are, well, nothing we haven't seen before, and at the risk of sounding repetitive, I won't include them. But there are a lot of death spikes, and a few key locations no less. Although I think I should mention in this one room that has these 3 cannons. They only take 1 shot to kill, but the problem is that they're shielded unless firing. Yeah, try getting through that unscathed. The main feature of this room are these switches, which can actually reveal land spots for you to walk on. Otherwise, you're just gonna plunge into the abyss. Yeah, instant death right there. As for the fight with Drill Man, well, the fight can be a little tricky, but it's more tedious than anything, considering that he can spend a lot of the time underground where you can't hit him. You also gotta watch out for his drill bomb attack because it has a spread effect and can hit you even after you dodge the initial blast. As such, Drill Man gets the number 16 spot on this list. At number 15 is SRN-007, Uranus, from Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy. The biggest and strongest out of all the star droids found by Dr. Wily, Uranus, well, his stage is pretty long. Enemy-wise, it doesn't have anything that's already been seen, but there are a couple interesting points that should be addressed in terms of his overall difficulty. The first of these are the spinning platforms. Spend too long on them, and you're gonna fall off. And if they happen to be over pits, well, don't stand on them too long. The second thing is the mini-boss, and there's 2 of this guy. He'll launch rocks at you, and you use those as platforms to reach his face and shoot them. Oh yeah, and there's falling rocks, and death spikes at the bottom. Fun, huh? Not to mention this guy is pretty durable. So unless you're using charge shots, it's gonna take a while. And this stage is long enough as it is. But luckily, after all that, Uranus is pretty easy. Even with his Deep Digger attack constantly filling up the floor and stunning you when he lands, he's very easy to predict. Just don't be there when he's landing on the ground, causing blocks to fall, or it's instant death. Yeah, now you know why Uranus is at number 15 on this list. That's the end of the Mega Man V roster. And no, I'm not doing Terra because even though he's serialized, he doesn't have a stage. Yeah, I'm not doing unserialized or non-stage Robot Masters. Sorry.
Hello? This is Buster Rod G. Yeah, you know that Sun Wukong looking guy? Delivery, please. Right to my lair. A large lanternfish and a side order of squirts. Make it quick. Quick as Quick Man, in fact.
At number 14 is WWN-01, Buster Rod G from Mega Man The Wily Wars. Buster Rod G is the leader of the Genesis unit and was modeled after Sun Wukong, a character from Journey to the West who is known as Son Goku in Japan. And no, I'm not talking DBZ. Anyway, that's where the G in his name comes from. There's really not much in his stage that hasn't already been seen, so instead, we're gonna go ahead to Rome's outtakes. Enjoy the laughs!
Okay, down here is where things get really frantic. Pippies and robot rabbits. Oh, this is a bad, difficult room to get by. Oh, bad. Oh, that was stupid. Gotta be ready for this room. Oh, gods. And I wasn't.
And that should give you a good idea. As for the fight with Buster Rod G, it's repetitive and you have to be pixel perfect to dodge him, but he's surprisingly easy and not very durable. He'll start by using his actual Buster Rod, then launch it to the air and toss it around and start creating clones of himself. And here's the bad thing. You don't actually beat him in this stage. No, you beat him later. Anyway, Buster Rod G goes to number 14 on this list. So that's it for Wily Wars. Next up, at number 13 is DWN023, Sparkman from Mega Man 3. Created by Dr. Light and Dr. Wily, Sparkman was modeled after a spark plug and is capable of generating 1,000,000 watts worth of electricity, which he uses to charge up his fellow robots. What he was used for was probably to energize Gamma when it was about to be finished, but he was later reprogrammed by Dr. Wily, who planned on using Gamma for his own evil purposes. To be brief, the things to watch out for in these stages are these electric gavules, rising platforms with a death spike ceiling, and a hallway full of falling junk that can damage you if it happens to land on you. But much of the real difficulty of the stage comes from Sparkman. You gotta have pixel-perfect timing or he'll back you into a corner, and that Spark Shock of his can do some significant damage, especially if he charges it up to full blast. Because of that, Sparkman gets the number 13 spot on this list. At number 12 is DLN068, Plugman from Mega Man 9. Plugman is a creation of Dr. Light that was used to do quality control at a television factory, but he was starting to near his expiration date. Yeah, I think you know where this is going. Unfortunately, this stage brings back the tellies, but you can actually make use of them. Since only 3 can be on screen at a time, you can actually drag them along with you to prevent new tellies from spawning until it's too late and you're on to the next room. There's also hallways full of disappearing blocks that you gotta watch out for. If you don't get the proper sequence down, well, a number of things can happen to you, most of them resulting in instant death. Also, when you pass through certain static bars, it's gonna create a copy of Mega Man that'll chase you around, but do little else. It's not really that threatening. What is threatening is Plugman, because he can be pretty spastic and I don't think he has any real clear pattern. He'll just jump around randomly and launch plug balls at you. You gotta keep on your toes with this one. The good news is, he's not very durable. As such, he only takes the number 12 spot on this list. Well, that's the Mega Man 9 roster out of the way. Who's next? Huh. Can't believe he didn't make the top 10. Oh well. Yes, and only number 11 is DWN010, Airman from Mega Man 2. Airman was created by Dr. Wily strictly for combat purposes, and is notorious amongst the gaming community for being nearly impossible to beat. Well, at least he isn't a perfect run. There's a reason why later. But his stage itself really isn't that hard, though there are a few things to watch out for, like platforms that spawn enemies, robots on flying clouds, those ever-annoying Pippies, and fan fiends as well. As for Airman, while he's not durable, it can be tricky to get those shots in. His air shooter can create a number of patterns which can make it impossible to dodge and deflect your shots. And while you can get behind him, you gotta jump out of the way before he blows you to the other side of the screen. Now you might be wondering why he's only number 11. The top 10 are a lot harder than he is, so stay tuned for next video.